Hello everybody, it's me, it is thy, it is all the other words we could use for this, Niab here, and welcome back to the, follow-up video to the Arc 7 review, which I'm going to title, in itself, I have lied to you with the thumbnail, we're not talking about those characters. I did put Vincent and Yorna on the thumbnail, you may notice that, and it almost seems like, of course, we're going to talk about them. We're not. I specifically chose them because they wouldn't be spoiler characters to put on, the thumbnail and all that. Felt like it would be a lot easier to get away with putting them and then not spoiling people, obviously, because if you watch the review, which if you haven't already, card right there, but if you watch the review, you'd know that we're going to talk about a specific character today, along with another character who I feel relates to that character, and it's a little bit of a problem if I put them on the thumbnail. So what we're going to do is just not put them on the thumbnail and not mention anything until we get past this part right now, where I'm saying that everything we're going to say from this point is going to be very heavy spoilers. If you are not at Arc 7, honestly, I'd almost say if you're not even close to caught up, right? Close to the point that I was essentially at with the review with Volume 4. If you're not there, something like that, right? Something along the lines of that, I would not recommend continuing. If you don't care about spoilers, feel free to go ahead. If you're caught up, of course, feel free to go ahead. But if you do care about spoilers and you don't want to be spoiled on shit, especially big stuff, right? I would recommend that you just click off, right? I wouldn't even recommend going to watch the previous review. Maybe check something else out on the channel if that piques your interest. Maybe, you're reading Arc 5 or Arc 6, I could, recommend those reviews on the channel, but, oh, and also the EX novels. The EX novels and the what ifs we pretty much kept spoilers out, except for the what ifs with the last one, but that's fine, that's just the last one. I did put timestamps there, and sadly, YouTube has removed chapters. I just want to go into that a little bit. It's a little bit annoying, especially when I made that big premiere for the Arc 7 video, and I was really excited. YouTube has fucked over chapters in such a way where now you need 1,000 subs to have chapters. Don't know why they did that. I don't see where the problem there was with somebody who doesn't have 1,000 subs. I could get it for monetization, right? I think their new monetization rules, or quote-unquote new, it's been a while now, I think their new monetization rules are silly because people can easily, bot their views and all that shit and their watch time. It's really not that hard at all. But I guess I can understand where they're coming from with that. It's monetization, that is money. I don't see the point in chapters. I don't know why YouTube removed those. It's a little bit silly, so you're going to have to from now on go to the description to get the timestamps. I really apologize for that. I might even just start putting them in the comments from now on. I think I might do that just to make things easier until, we possibly reach that point where we can finally have them again in videos. I don't know, it's weird. I don't know why YouTube did that. But anyways, yeah, you could watch those if you don't want anything spoiler related at all, right? Those are available, they're neat, they're cool, right, they're fun. But I would not recommend watching this video because it's going to be very spoiler heavy, so just click off. Hopefully I've given you about enough time now, right? We're just going to wait a little bit longer because I don't know if somebody's just listening to me speaking and then, didn't realize they should click off. And yeah, with that, I think everybody should have clicked off by now, and if they didn't, unfortunate, but alright, so let's talk about a certain blue-haired character that I've been meaning to talk about. Because, as I mentioned with the review, there's a lot here, right? Arc 7 does so much shit that it's wild to me. And as I mentioned, it might be better than Arc 5. I'm gonna have to wait and see till the end, right? I want Arc 7 to finish for me to fully have that thought. But it might be. It might be better than Arc 5. Might be my second favorite. But man, the shit going on with Rem and Louise, and this is some insane shit. So, let's backtrack a bit, right? We're gonna format this similar to the Capella video, and I mean, much like the Capella video, this is just me, having these thoughts in my brain, and I'm like, I need to talk about them, right? Same shit as that. I mean, that's usually what these talk about videos are. It's just stuff that is in my brain, and I'm like, well, you know what? I have to get this out there, or else it's weird. Like, I'm just gonna forget that I ever thought about it, or like I'm going to remember in a way, but you know what I mean, I would assume. But let's backtrack a bit, right? Because I remember with the Arc 6 video, I mentioned the fact of there's two paths that could be like taken for the series from this point, or at least for Ren, right? And that's we make her a brand new character, or she gets her memories back. I do like both of these, and I want to go further into it with this, right? I like the idea of her getting her memories back because, like, cool, right? We get her back, that's neat. I like that, right? It's a nice, happy ending to the whole thing. But I will say, I'm almost more intrigued and interested to get a new character out of this, right? At the moment, she's not that much of a new character, right? That's the problem, is she's very similar to Ram at the moment, with the exception of she's nice in a way, right? She's nice when she needs to be, and all that, right? It's not that different from Ram, so it's like, I don't know about right now if I would say, like, this is the best, path for a new character or something like that, right? I think she has to be improved on more, obviously, if we were to take that type of path. But I think it could work out well, right? But it's something interesting to me, because it's like, I would almost like to see this starting over point, right? Like, from a 0 point with her. That'd be pretty fucking interesting to see, right? It'd keep you invested. It would make you wonder where we go from here, like how she learns about all these things, right? I mean, she's like learning healing again. It's a very minimal, but she's learning it. And from what I've heard about these side stories or some shit like that, she is being almost like a maid to Priscilla. And I mean, you could say that that's coming back to her in a way, right? So it's interesting with all that. But today, I don't think we're going to talk about that specific path, right? Because it's interesting. But there's some shit I thought of that made me realize, you know what? That other path might be better for two things I thought of. And it involves Louise, because most of this can't really be accomplished without her, or at least I feel that way, right? So, clear-cut thing, or at least overall kind of clear thing that they've, in a way, established with Arc 7 is some shit's going on with Louise, right? She's still her, but she's not. It almost feels like she's either, like I said, like an amalgamation of her, like the memories she has, right? Or it's like she's just specifically like Rem's memories of some shit, right? Something's going on there, right? Very clearly. And one of the things I was almost interested to see, right, is how, like, Rem would possibly get her memories back, right? Because we've seen certain things like Rem remembering all that and like stuff like that, right? But the difference with that is a snippet of the past messed with, but there's such a vital piece there, right? The character who is there is so vital that the memory gets fucked with to the point that Ram realizes, oh, right, like she realizes what that missing thing is there, that thing that's glitching out. Makes sense with that, right? But what we haven't really seen at all is how characters react, like, with their own memories and all that shit, right? Because Krush doesn't have hers back, Rem still doesn't, right? All this shit. So it's interesting to see, like, how would this happen and all that shit, right? I don't know how it would happen for Krush. I don't know if it will happen for Krush. If anything, Krush might be the character who becomes a new character, right? But I'm interested with Ren because I think Louise will play a vital part here. And there's two things I was thinking of. One thing, this is the one that I feel is like almost lesser, right, in a way, is, and I don't know that she would do this, but it's possibly her sacrificing herself whenever she may need to do suicide, unfortunately, right, all that type of shit. in order to give somebody like Subaru the authority of like gluttony, right? And his version of it could be like sharing memories with people. I thought about that and I went, that would be interesting because, you know, shit like Regulus's ability, he's able to share the burden that people have, and therefore like he receives it, but it's less of a burden for them. I was thinking about that for gluttony. I'm like, oh, he could share the memories because none of these abilities are actually good. They're just utility based, which is technically good, but it's very much like utility based, right? So that would be interesting. One problem with this theory that I thought of, right? Small, maybe not small, decently big problem is Roy, because he's still alive, and he may be sealed, but like, so is Satella, and Satella's stuff is still going on, right? She's the whole reason Subaru can come back to life. So, being sealed doesn't necessarily get rid of the power. So that's where the problem comes in, right? I thought about this and I'm like, it's really cool. I really like this idea. But Roy fucks it over because I'm assuming if Roy's not dead as well, we're fucked, right? Like, nothing's gonna happen. Unless he becomes a villain here. I mean, I know he is a villain already, but more so unless he out of nowhere appears here, right? If the seal gets undone, whatever it may be. If he appears here, sure, right? I mean, really, at some point his seal is probably going to be undone. I highly, suspect that'll happen, considering I don't think, him and Sirius are just going to be, like, sealed / chained up for the rest of the series. I don't think that's how it's, like, going to be, right? It's just a, like, calm before the storm, essentially, right? So, at some point he's probably going to have that shit undone. I don't know if it'll be now. It'd be a little bit quick if it's now, considering that happened in Arc 6, but that'd be fine. That'd be fine. But there is an additional idea I thought of, and I felt like this one works way fucking more. And let me go into it. Because this one relates to Arc 6, and I was thinking back and I'm like, oh my god. Right? So, one thing I was thinking about is Louise could sacrifice herself to Ren. Now, you might be confused on what I mean there. Let me go into this. You may remember with Arc 6, Louise's home, essentially, was the Hall of Memories. Big fucking unknown area, but she lives there and that's where all, like, memories of the world are stored, right, essentially. Something interesting I thought about with that area is, like, two things. One, she met Subaru there. She spoke to him there, probably because that is where she exists. Before Arc 7, she did not have a physical body. The only one she occupied was Subaru, of course, for that, like, short period of time. And, also, that Hall of Memories was the place where Subaru confronted himself, right? All that shit, right? Whole bunch of stuff went down there. That's, like, really interesting. But something I thought of is, Louise still has her power, and presumably has knowledge that she still has her power. If she can possibly figure it out, there is a chance she could take Rem, go there, sacrifice herself, and bam! The memories are back. Similar to what happened with Subaru, where, in a way, he combined with himself, and bam! He got his memories back. All that shit, right? Or like, we don't know what happened here, but Louise also copied, or like combined with her copy. And, like I said, we don't know what happened, but she now has a physical body and presumably doesn't remember that she was a villain or something like that, right? So, it's like, shit, right? Shit can go there. Or shit can go on there. Shit can go there. What? Shit can go on there where characters will just, like, combine and something can occur, whether that's the memories or whatever the fuck happened with Louise, right? That type of thing can happen. And it's interesting to me because, this can happen with Rem. And I don't know how we'll get to this point. I don't know when we'll get to this point. But I do feel like this might be the step that the story is taking. Because if I'm being real, I don't know that Louise will stay on, like, you know, the big team, right? I saw some people being like, oh, she's gonna join the Amelia camp and all that shit. And it's like, I don't know about that. Because sure, it'd be nice to get more and more people on there. But a few things. One, I don't think they would trust her. This person has caused so much fucking grief for so many people. I mean, her and her brothers, right, have caused so much fucking grief for so many people that I feel like the obvious course of action they would all take is kill her, right? Especially Ram. Number two, I almost want to say it's weird for me, right? Not saying this as some sort of, you know, I hold this character higher and therefore I'm gonna have a higher status on this character as opposed to that one or some shit. But it's weird to have like Melee join the camp and then also have like Louise join, right? Two child characters who were both villains and now are not villains. A little bit weird to do that twice, right? I don't mind like doing that villain turning into a good person type of thing, right? Specifically with how it's done, right? When it's not done well, kind of sucks. But when it's done like something like this, right, with Louise, I'm personally a fan of it. I do enjoy it. But I don't think she would join. I don't even know what she would necessarily provide, right? It's also the whole thing of she's going to be executed in Wallachia if they can get a hold of her and they, like, you know who she is, which a decent amount of them know who she is, and if the others learn about it, fuck, right? Presumably, it could be the same in Lagunica, right? The people in Lagunica might just fucking execute her as well for finding that out. She's in a fucked situation right now where it's like, I think she's just going to die, right? By the end of this arc, she will be dead. Maybe next arc, probably this arc, right? She'll be dead. How? Who knows? But I think, like, that path of going to the Hall of Memories with Rem, and giving the memories back, boom, like, bam, done, right? I think that is the optimal way to conclude it all, make it a happy but sad end to her, as well as bring the, like, pretty much most popular character back, and have them go off, right? The journey of Arc 7, which, I mean, there was two journeys of Arc 7, was getting her memories back and then, you know, getting out of Wallachia, but, like, that would take part of the journey that's there, that would finish it. It's nice, right? Overall, that was, like, the thoughts I had on all that, because it's just, like, I don't know, it's almost like I don't know where we go from here, and Arc 7 is very much in its, like, I want to say middle stage, because I don't think we're at the start anymore of Arc 7, obviously, but I don't think we're at the end. I think we're at the middle, really, right now. I could be wrong, but I think that's where we're at. And I mean, we'll probably get new chapters soon, I think, because Volume 30 came out. Or not Volume 30 came out. Volume 30 is being currently made in terms of art and illustrations, all that, right? Which is interesting. I fucking posted that video. In fact, I was getting the video ready. I was getting certain things for the video ready, such as, you know, the volume art and everything. And then I found that on the wiki, and I was like, oh, wow, like, what's this? Is this a new side story or something? Or, like, new EX volume that I'm gonna have to, you know, purchase? And I clicked on it, and I was like, oh, Volume 30. Oh, we're done. Oh. Or, like, not done, but you know what I mean, like, done the next volume. I didn't even know that. I thought it was still ongoing. I thought we were just on a big break, right? I thought there was just a big break right now. I didn't think, like, oh, we're done the volume, now we wait, right? But presumably, we could get more chapters soon. I've noticed that trend, at least with the past two volumes, where, you know, new volume comes out, and then, okay, we're continuing. I'll probably get back to reading Arc 7 soon. I won't read it as quickly as I've been reading. Like I said, I'm on a break. I'd love to be caught up, and I'm going to try my best to be caught up. And like I said, Twitter, I'll, you know, post my opinions on there. But well, I'm still on a reading break. Like I said, I'm going to get Arcs 1 to 3 done pretty quickly, like ready for the review. You'll understand why when we get there, right? It won't be a bad reason, I promise. But or at least it shouldn't be for most people. I don't really see how it would be a bad reason, right? But just stay calm, right? We'll have the review out pretty much after the get into. I'm not going to make you wait like too long for that, like I said. But it'll be there. It'll be nice, efficient. It's also not going to be handled like other reviews. I just want to mention that. Because really it's events that have already happened in terms of the anime. So I don't really feel inclined to essentially go, okay, so this volume, then this volume, then this volume, then this volume, right? Same thing goes for the Arc 4. I'm just going to talk about it as a whole, and it's going to be kind of constructed in such a way where it's similar to the reviews of like, I'll talk about Arc 1, 2, 3. I'm still not going to separate them that much, but like, you know, I'll give my overall thoughts and talk about how I felt about the arcs in general beforehand, as well as, you know, bring in the content, right? Because now I'll have the whole experience instead of some of it, right? So, and especially for Arc 4, I feel like Arc 4 that will definitely be necessary. But yeah, those reviews will be different. As a result, they might be shorter, they might be longer than the what ifs, which I think was an hour long. I think the what ifs were an hour long. Might be. But they'll probably be kind of shorter just because we're not talking about it like volume wise, right? So if we're being real, until we do possibly another like what if or something like that, which I mean I almost want to because I know there's some other what ifs from what I understand that I'd almost like to see, right? Or you know, we get to the next EX volume, except the next EX volume we're just going to slap onto the next Arc 7 video. So really the last Arc 7 video that was, you know, on the channel, that one, I mean last Arc 7 video, I mean fuck, that's the only one before this, but really that is the last one for a bit that'll have the whole volume type of thing. I mean hopefully it's not too long till the, you know, proper end of Arc 7 and then we can do more and all that, but I feel like it'll be a while. I'd say like minimum a year, at least for my guess, right? It'll probably be minimum a year till we get to talk about the second half, but that's fine. It'll still be probably enjoyable. We'll still have a lot to talk about, except for that one thing that I still gotta find out more about, right? You'll see if there's a follow-up video. I might make another follow-up video because of that one thing. We'll see. Other than that, that's about it. Just wanted to talk about all this because it's been in my brain, right? And it's just been circling there for a while. But that's about it. So thank you all for watching. Hopefully I'll see you all with the Get Into. Please watch it, honestly, because I am very excited to talk about my favorite series and all that, right? And the Get Into, like I say, they're all meant for like everybody on the channel, right? So I would hope that people watch that the most out of everything. Fine if you don't, right? But like, I would hope that somebody sees that and it goes, oh, you know what, I'm interested. Let me see what this video is about, right? All that type of shit. But yeah, hopefully I'll see you all with the next Get Into. Maybe it'll be the next follow-up, maybe it'll be the review. Whatever it may be, I'll keep you all posted on that. But that's about it. And yeah, outro time.